President of the International Bar Association, James Carey, says the world must harness innovation without compromising fairness, accountability, transparency, and human dignity. He emphasized the need for cross-jurisdictional dialogue to ensure artificial intelligence advances justice rather than undermining it. He made this remark while delivering his address at the 2025 International Bar Association Conference in Canada. TVC News senior reporter Celestina Iria has more.
The 2025 International Bar Association Conference ranks among the top 5 most attended in the history of the IBA, attracting over 5,000 participants from across the world. The conference aims to foster collaboration, challenge assumptions, strengthen networks, and renew commitment to the rule of law and justice. The president of the International Bar Association, James Carey, urged legal professionals to remain stewards of institutions, guardians of rights, and intermediaries between power and the people.
The first is artificial intelligence and related technologies, which are reshaping how we practice law, how evidence is gathered, how disputes are resolved, and how rights are protected.
The keynote address was delivered by former Supreme Court Justice of Canada, Rosella Abella, who stressed the importance of a just and equitable rule of law in the age of technological change.
But I worry that the ideals of fairness and justice that guided me all my life are under global siege. We may have had the rule of law, but did we have the rule of justice?
For Nigeria, this conference provides an opportunity for legal practitioners to stay abreast of emerging trends in law and new technologies shaping the global legal landscape.
It provides a platform where issues affecting justice delivery system, academics, economy, the legal system generally.
We always come here to learn one thing or the other, network, and then advance your practice as a lawyer.
Public opinion should not influence the decision of judges, because if they give natural decisions, over time it will come to play.
The first thing is all about collaborating with the whole world when it comes to legal issues, and Nigeria will not be isolated. And when you talk about jurisprudence, it's not about the nation as well, but about the people.
The Supreme Court of Canada, Justice Abella, democracy thrives not only on the rule of law, but also on the rule of justice, and lawyers and the world in general must embrace global peace and not global hate. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Toronto.
Celestina joins me live from Canada on the sideline of the International Bar Association Conference. Walk us through the global trends being highlighted in this conference, and especially what it means for Nigeria at this time.
Well, Nipemi, as the Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, rightly said, participants from Nigeria here have one or two things to learn as it pertains to emerging trends in law and also technology. Because we could hear that the President of the IBA mentioned that artificial intelligence and technology must be used in accordance with the law, and it should not erode justice itself. And one of the topics of discussion from the various sessions that will be had is legal technology and innovation, and also intra-African trade, building sustainability, and also bridging the gap. And they also have discussion as it pertains to democracy and rule of law and human rights, making justice not only accessible, but easily available to the vulnerable or the indigent. And this leads us to pro bono issues. So various legal issues will be addressed, from health to medical to maritime to family, just you name it, across all sectors. So these are the topics that will be discussed in this session, and Nigeria stands a lot to gain from this conference, because we are not just participants, we also have speakers who will be chairing some of the sessions, like that of the mediation, if judges should accept it or reject it. We'll have a justice from the Court of Appeal from Nigeria, Justice Int'l, who is chairing that session. So we'll also have a professor from the Bayes University, Sunday Agu, who will also be chairing a session. I will also have a session on mining, the financing, the negotiation. That will be taken by Yinka Edu. So Nigerians are not only participating, they are also facilitators and chair of various sessions.
What have you identified as the rallying point and point of collaboration here? Is there a form of, peer group assessment that can elevate conversations back at home and something we can measure our performance by, especially in the administration of justice?
Okay, well, for that, I can say the Nigerian delegates led by the Minister of Justice will be meeting with the Nigerian-Canadian lawyers based in Canada. And also in the coming days, we'll have the inauguration of the Nigerian-Canada Legal Exchange Forum. And this forum is to help with trans-border financial crime as it pertains to Nigeria and Canada. And the forum will be inaugurated by the Minister of Justice. So Nigeria on the sideline, they are meeting with Nigerian lawyers who are based in Canada to foster collaboration and also intimate them in the way the country is trying to move the jurisprudence forward and the things the country is doing, and also how they can also help if the need arises for them to stand in as legal representation or notary public or whatever capacity they can stand in.
Well, I say they are live for us in Canada. Thank you for the updates there. Now, China's governance instruments in Africa has been described as one that is adaptable to different political systems. At a China-Africa dialogue in Lagos, experts advised that China needs to improve on its policy tools by getting feedback from the continent. Precious Amayo has more.
China has become a major player in Africa's energy landscape, investing heavily in solar, wind and hydroelectric power. At its dialogue organized by the Nigeria Institute of International Affairs, experts stressed the importance of these investments to driving economic growth and reducing energy poverty.
China investment in Africa creates a combination of optimism, concerns, and puzzles. China has taken an increasingly large chunk of Africa's external trade, except in the petroleum sector, where the traditional colonial partners and the United States still maintain a strong monopoly.
Here, China has redefined its foreign policy narrative to include green development diplomacy, positioning itself as one of the leaders in global ecological practices. And the second one is the economic and investment perspective. It has shifted from the traditional extractive projects, that's oil and mining. They have moved towards renewable energy, green industrial parks, sustainable agriculture, and eco-friendly transport systems.
In terms of climate financing as well, green financing, a lot of the projects, the green projects, being pursued by China in Africa are funded by the Chinese people themselves, either directly by the government or the companies that are executing those projects, to be paid back later or in some other ways.
But the discussion quickly turned to the issue of reparations, with the experts insisting that the global North and South has a responsibility to address the historical and ongoing impacts of its activities on the continent.
About reparation themselves do not have what they call, suffers from what they call a conceptual ambiguity. And because of that, the forms in which reparations to take place and how they should take place itself have become a burning issue.
Instead of going to court, the Commission uses diplomacy. They use research, UN platforms to push for acknowledgements, for apology, and development support, such as debt cancellation, education, and health programs as forms of reparative justice.
As Africa navigates its energy future, it is clear that China's investments will play a significant role in offering Africa an alternative path within an emerging multipolar world. Precious Amayo, TVC News, Lagos.